Hey everyone!
Welcome to the last night of virtual VBS. But before we get started,
let's sing some songs.
And the forest filled with trees, put the mountains up so high. At the top he placed the sky, fingerprints are everywhere, just to show how much he cares. In the middle he had some fun, made a hippo that weighs a ton. A pip pip hippopotamus, a hippopotamus God made all of us. A pip pip hippopotamus, a hippopotamus God made all of us.
one more time!
At the top he plays the sky, fingerprints are everywhere, just to show how much he cares. In the middle he has some fun, made a hippo that weighs a ton. Hippopotamus, hippopotamus God made all of us. Hippopotamus, hippopotamus God made all of us.
Tony Shaver knows God loves him. Tony knows. Tony knows. Tony Shaver knows God loves him. That's what Tony knows.
Alright guys, just to recap from what we've learned through the week. So, day 1 we talked about Jesus as healer when he healed the paralyzed man. Day 2 we talked about Jesus as master when he calmed the storm. Night 3 we talked about Jesus as the provider and how he fed the 5,000. And then tonight we're talking about Jesus as Savior. And we're going back through the resurrection of Jesus and talking about the empty tomb.
Okay guys, we're gonna start off our lesson tonight a little bit differently. We're gonna start off with our snack.
First, you grease the pan.
So the very first thing that you're gonna do is you are going to grab 1 tablespoon of sugar and 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon and mix it together in a bowl. Okay, so the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna open your can of biscuits. And you're going to, as soon as you get it open, you're going to press the biscuits as flat as you can get it. Keep going, Cass, keep going.
Got it.
Okay, you need something to put it on, don't you?
You gotta really get them on the pan.
Yeah, really get it on there.
Okay.
You're gonna press it as flat as you can get it. You need help? I guess so. Okay.
We only can this.
Push it as flat as you can get it. Alright, so the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna dip the marshmallows into the melted butter and then roll them around in the cinnamon sugar. Next, you're gonna place your coated marshmallows on the biscuit near the edge. And then you're gonna take the dough and you're gonna roll the marshmallow up inside the biscuit. And you're gonna pinch it together so that there's no holes all the way around. Then once you have your marshmallow together, you're gonna put it with the seams facing down. Next, you're gonna drizzle the biscuits with the leftover melted butter, and then you're gonna sprinkle it with the leftover cinnamon sugar. Next, you're gonna bake the biscuits in the oven for 12 minutes with it set on 400 degrees. Let the biscuits cool for about 5 minutes. The marshmallow is gone. Jesus used to tell the apostles and his friends that he was king. He told them that he would be raised on the 3rd day. His followers listened to Jesus, but they did not always understand what he meant. Then something happened that made them forget everything. Jesus was put to death on a cross. Even after he was dead, the soldiers were so mean to him. One Roman soldier stuck a spear into his side after he was dead just to make sure. How could Jesus be king if he was dead? This was on a Friday, and it was the saddest and most hopeless day that has ever been. The apostles and Jesus' friends thought everything was over. After Jesus died, 2 friends came to get his body. They were Joseph and Nicodemus. They washed Jesus' dead body and wrapped it in long strips of cloths with lots and lots of spices in between the cloth. They put the body into a tomb that had been carved out of solid rock. Then they rolled a very big stone in front of the doorway to the tomb. The Jewish leaders were afraid that someone might steal Jesus' body and say that he was raised from the dead. So they asked Pilate to put on a special seal on the stone in front of the tomb and put guards in front of it. That was still on Friday, the 1st day that Jesus was dead. On Saturday, the 2nd day, the day passed and all was quiet. Then on the 3rd day, on Sunday, some women sadly made their way to the tomb. It was a custom for women to come and put sweet-smelling spices on the body of the person that died. But the women were really worried. They had heard about the big stone in front of the tomb. Who would move the stone so that they could put spices on the body of Jesus? When the women arrived at the tomb, they saw that the stone had already been moved. A man dressed in white was inside the tomb, and he said, "Don't be afraid. You are looking for Jesus from Nazareth, the one who was killed on a cross. He has risen from death. He is not here. Look, here's the place that they laid him. Now go and tell his followers and Peter, Jesus is going to Galilee. He will be there before you. You will see him there as he told you before." This is what had happened just before the women had arrived. There was a violent earthquake, and an angel of the Lord came down out of heaven like a lightning bolt. His clothes were as white as snow. The angel went to the tomb and rolled back the huge stone and then sat on it. The guards were so afraid that they couldn't move. Finally, they ran away to tell the Jewish leaders what had happened. The Jewish leaders didn't want anyone to know the truth, so they gave the soldiers lots of money and told them to tell everyone that the disciples had come during the night and stolen Jesus' body. The women left to tell the other followers of Jesus. Peter and John both came to see. Everyone was amazed. But one of the women, Mary Magdalene, stayed behind. She was in the tomb crying because she could still not understand how Jesus' body could be gone. How could the tomb be empty? Maybe someone had stolen it. But Mary was not alone in the tomb. 2 angels spoke to her and asked her why she was crying. She began to explain, but then heard another voice. At first she didn't know who was speaking, but then she heard him say, "Mary." When she heard him say her name, Mary knew that it was Jesus, her teacher, speaking. Jesus had come back from the dead. Jesus spoke to Mary and told her to go and tell the others that he would spend some time on earth with them, but that he would be returning to his Father very soon. After Jesus rose from the dead, he appeared to many people. 2 men were walking on a road talking with Jesus about him when he just appeared right there with them. His apostles had gathered, and he appeared right there in the room with them. He ate with them and even let them touch the scars he had from where he was crucified. More and more people began to realize that Jesus was no longer dead. Jesus was alive.
Okay guys, now that you've heard the lesson, we're gonna go back and talk about the snack that we made earlier. So I'm going to tell you the symbolism of what all of our ingredients meant. So the biscuits represent the cloth that they wrapped Jesus' body in when they buried him. And then the marshmallow is like Jesus' body. So you put Jesus' body in the cloth that they wrapped him up in, which is the biscuit. And then you put butter on top of the biscuit, which is like kind of the embalming oils that they used back then. And then you put the cinnamon and sugar on top. And those are like the spices used to prepare Jesus' body for the burial. And then you baked the biscuit, and whenever you open the biscuit up, the body was gone, or the marshmallow was gone. So the biscuit is like the empty tomb.
Okay guys, so for our craft tonight, we are making a shadow theater out of a cereal box. So for this craft, you need one cereal box. It needs to be empty. Take the cereal out of it. And you're gonna cut the tops off of the box. So the box used to look like this. So you're gonna cut the top off of the box and the bottom off of the box. And then you're gonna cut a slit all the way through the back of the box. That way you have one big piece of cardboard. Then you can make the top of your theater. You can just cut it however you want to. You can make it a little bit decorative, or you can just leave it plain. And then you're gonna cut a hole right here in the middle of your cereal box. So that's what we used for another piece later. So hang on to the cardboard from the middle. Then you're going to take some wax paper and you're gonna tape the wax paper in the hole of the cereal box. So then you stand it up. If you want to, you can put a little felt curtain on the side and write theater at the top, or whatever you want to put. Then for the props that you're going to use, you need a stone. Now keep in mind that you're only going to see the shadow and the outline of all these things, so the little details don't really matter. So this is from the inside of this hole right there. So you need a stone, and then you need 5 of the popsicle stick people. You need 3 popsicle stick men and 2 popsicle stick women. We took some pieces of felt and made a little head covering for the women on here to kind of make them look a little bit different. Then you will place a flashlight or a candle behind, where's my phone? Thanks, Cass. You will place a flashlight or a candle behind the shadow theater, just like this. And you will put the people in front of the flashlight, and you can tell the story that way.
That's all we have for you. We really hope you enjoyed virtual VBS.
We also hope you've enjoyed learning about Jesus as healer, Jesus as master, Jesus as provider, and Jesus as savior. We also hope that you're inspired to learn more about Jesus and his life and his ministry.
But before we go, you know what we gotta do. That's really all we have for VBS this year. We miss you.
We hope to see you soon.
And